Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. My name is Mita Azhari Putri. My attendance class is number 9 and I'm from PBI class. I want to read unit 9. Love Japanese Style. When Mr. Myoji Morita married Mr. Mitomiko Memura last year, his father compared the couple's new life together to railroad train on a long, unknown track. There may be curve and dark tunnels ahead, he told them, but we wish you a safe journey. The first year of that journey together has provided a variety of personal discoveries about everything from dirty laundry to family finances from the newlyweds. But overall, the young couple, who are typical of millions of Japanese, say their semi-arranged marriage is going well, and they feel certain a closeness slowly developing between them. They call it love. I feel so relaxed when I get home with him, said the 27-year-old Mrs. Morita, who has kept her job as a bank teller. She does such a nice thing, said her husband and 35-year-old television film editor. The other day when I was sick in bed, she gave up a trip to the journey country with her friends to stay home and care for me. During each of their 6 work days a week, they talk by phone and almost always meet each evening to make the 1 hour train ride home together. In the streets, they hold hands. In the restaurant, they sometimes playfully touch each other. There are subtle but significant change in the growth of Japanese marriage relationship. Where open signs of eviction have not been common, it is quite different from the day when they meet and arrange tea after their fathers. Old friends from work exchange photographs and suggest the possibility of a marriage between their 2 children. The 2 young couple who could have said no to the idea didn't even get to speak at first. 10 days after dismissing Mr. Morita upon Miss Maimura to propose, she decided almost immediately but waited 3 days to answer. I will make you happy, Mr. Morita promised. Then in October, Japanese most popular marriage month, the 2 families were joined in a wedding and reception that cost about $13,600. It was planned to be the most important days in their life. The 2 newlyweds who had never kissed each other and until that day spent their wedding night on the 19th floor of a nearby hotel. Then they left for a quiet southern vacation resort on a short honeymoon. They lived in the 2 upstairs rooms of the home of Mr. Morita's parents. There they usually eat breakfast and dinner with the other couple and frequently watch an hour of television together. The mother-in-law cooks during the week and the new bride cooks on Sundays. In exchange, the young couple pays $288 of their combined income for food and housing costs. They save $240 a month for the coffee shop that Mr. Morita would like to open and for the 3 children they plan to have. When they have children, the bank may force Mrs. Morita to quit or she may to choose to. I won't tell her what to do, said Mr. Morita. If she wants to quit, okay. If she wants to work, okay. Politically, they have separate view, but we never fight, Mrs. Morita said. We didn't hit each other like some couples. If a quarrel is heating up, then we would just keep quiet and let it blow over. Besides, he often apologizes to me, and that solves the problem. But Mr. Morita has, in his first 13 months of marriage, sometimes been annoyed by what he regards as nagging. Typically, this happens when he leaves socks or shirts scared about the carelessness combined with all the housework after a day's work at the bank was the major unexpected fact of marriage life for Mrs. Morita. I have to tell him to pick up, she said. There are those standard but right moments, often at work when, for instance, Mr. Morita realized suddenly that every weekend when his wife cooks a meal it contains his favorite potatoes, or Mrs. Morita will think about the sweater she is knitting for her husband, not because I have to, but because I want to, or perhaps she will admire one more time the rings that her husband had jeweler secretly designed and make for her. Suddenly, I don't know why I did it. Mr. Morita insists it was for no reason. Last year on her wedding day, when she was a bride only a few minutes, Mrs. Morita said, "I think that our love will start to grow from this moment on." The other evening, after 30 months of marriage, she was reminded of that. "I remember," she said, "it's growing." Okay, I think that's all. Thank you for your attention. Wassalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.